Hello, one and all, and welcome to the Babylon Smite League's Gilgamesh division, Nat20 versus Baba's Kitchen. My name is MoonMellows, and with me, I have Airborne. Airborne, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Was waiting until the last 20 minutes to figure out if I was playing in this set, and now I'm casting it, so I have no pressure and can make fun of all of my teammates at the same time.
Yeah, I'm expecting a lot of insight from you and a lot of insight on who you expect to feed, you know?
Yeah, so all of them at risk for it. Uh, Probably all gonna do it.
Yeah, okay. I hmm. Who on your team are you most expecting to drop a 20 bomb in either category of deaths or kills?
Uh, so if Room Cleaner gets Vulcan, 20 kills could be possible. 20
Mhm.
deaths. It's a competition for last place between Rampure and Unstrict. And then Zapsy, if he gets a couple of his ADCs, obviously could go crazy too. But they're all racing for second place because I think Krusty's just goes full damage Hades and beats everyone to 20 deaths.
Krusty's that's the real competition this game. Who's the first one to get the 20 kills or 20 deaths in this case? First thing though, Thanatos gonna be off the board, so no executes the to that path of 20 deaths.
Yeah, respect man for Mr. Popier is a very aggressive jungler, and he's also very snowbally. So Thanatos with the early pressure, not necessarily something you want to put in his hands. And then Thor, obviously a really good band just in the game in general, followed by Hecate.
Yep, Hecate and Thor taking off. Bunch of big circles, or, well, medium circle, I guess, in Thor's case, but still a strong god. Chiron also now taken off the block. Chiron, another really strong, aggressive mid laner or carry, depending on where it, or if you want to flex him over there.
Yeah, definitely glad that that's off the table in general because watching anyone play Chiron just in Smite in general is just one of the most boring things of all time. Uh, just being
Well,
able
tell
to
me how you
shoot
really
the
feel.
entire lane to secure a kill is so boring to watch. I can't, I can't do it. There's just no risk to it 98% of the time.
Mhm. Well, also something that can be shot down the lane. I think instead of a Hecate, oh no, Cuckoo, and they're a little bit changed. But no, it's Hecate for sure. And Cuckoo is going to be the third ban for Nat20. And yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing as Chiron, but a bit more fun to watch in my experiences. Cuckoo has that big Spirit of Nine Winds to shoot all the way down. Aladdin going around at the bands, and the first pick, you kind of like mentioned it. It's going to be this Vulcan.
Yeah, room cleaner is absolutely nasty on this pick, man, and a lot of people are. The turret build with the health items being as good as they are, a little bit of a nerf to it, but at the end of the day, like it's a really good build still, and if you're good on it, it looks great. Yamoja Nut as a 2 trade-off for Babas also looks pretty good, but with Discordia and Baron still up, I kind of favor Nat 20 in those first 5 picks.
Yeah, Nat20 kind of have a really aggressive draft going off so far. Love Baron in the aspect, probably heading over to that support lane with Vulcan,
Yep.
Solo, Disco in the mid. Baron is even as support, he's not going to take a lot of damage, but he's going to deal a ton of it back, and also just has that in-kit sustain, and of course, life of the party, dragging everyone back in. Still though, you can't really diss the emoji too much. Has been one of the strongest gods in the game since her release in Smite 1, so not a bad first two from Baba's Kitchen.
No, it's definitely two really good picks. It's just unfortunate that so much is up with the ban strategies that both these teams took that now we've got 5 gods that you argue could have been banned, and 3 of them go Nat 20's way. Though Neath is obviously a really good pick, followed up by Hunbots, who occasionally catches a stray ban or two as well. I mean, so far it's just 7 really good gods and then a Willix hover. I'm not
Ooh,
sure if
yeah.
Ramp plays that, but
I
maybe.
mean,
Nope,
oh
there it
no,
is.
it
He's
was
split pushing.
yeah. All right, so you think it's gonna be Apollo Jungle then in this case
I would
for Ramp?
assume so, yeah. Zapsy takes the
Yeah.
on her. He's just a very aggressive ADC, and he's mechanically obviously very, very good. So getting someone on a pick like on her and that, you just kind of let his mechanics shine and let the aggression kind of be rewarded. Rampior is also a very, very big split push heavy jungler. So
Mm.
just being able to send him down one of the side lanes and have that ult available to get anywhere at any point, obviously just has a lot of value for the Nat 20 team.
Yeah, being able to run it down a lane and then be able to join back to any fights that are happening. Let's say if there's a fight of Fire Giant, he'll be there for sure. Also being there at these fights. We got two walls on the side of Baba's Kitchen. We got Yamoja's River's Rebuke and Odin's Ring of Spears. I hope to see a lot of shells.
Yeah, I'd imagine they'd probably double shells, especially this Vulcan, I would assume, is going to grab one. I'm not sure if Odin wants to be in the cage with him, past like first items, but maybe he does. I wouldn't. But maybe. Obviously, Krusty's is a very good solo laner, and this will be one of the few times we actually see him on a warrior. So if he builds normal, Rim could definitely have some problems here. Last time we saw him build a warrior though was chock full damage, so we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. It's a very, very good heavy team fight comp for Babas. A lot of really big circles, and then you've got the Neathalt to try to get you through that early game. It's just there's a lot of aggression on that 20 side.
Yeah. Nat20 do have the aggressive team as we are slowly going to make our way into game here. I am looking at the two drafts though. I think Nat20, while I love Yamoja, I think Nat20 still has a little bit to my heart here. Just like the team fight potential is just like I love W key comps, right? And Nat20's team screams, "I'm going to run at you and you are going to die."
Yeah, and I think a lot of this is just going to be a situation of like Rampior and Matt Duck probably sitting here on the front line, and we're going to try to do a little bit of Pope battle. Obviously, we have a Discordia, we have an On Her. If you hit someone with a couple of abilities, especially late, get them in that kill threshold, it just becomes a full W comp, right? A Earthquaker or Earthshaker or whatever it is Vulcan's ult is, hitting at 23, 24 minutes at, let's say, a Pyro fight could just be deciding for a comp like Nat 20s. But Babas has quite a few good answers to some of these things here as we get put into a pause. I mean, Baron obviously is a very immobile god. Disco has the little leap. Vulcan also immobile. So grabbing both walls and a Humbots, there could be a couple of really good fight potentials for Babas. Just have to wait and see how they play it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we mentioned. I guess since we're in the pause now, we can talk about it a little bit. There was a little bit of a like, what's the word here? Like a little bit of a salty run back, I guess, for this team as like Unstrick, also pastly known as the Dutch Creamery, and then pastly known as Unstrick, regaming the name for himself once again. He was on this Baba's Kitchen draft, or this team, about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, the very last set we casted, the one where I referenced the chalk damage, was the Unstruck game. I think they lost to maybe it was Fallen Angels, if I remember correctly.
I
But
believe
ended
so.
up being traded to MSS for a week after that, and then from MSS to Nat20. So now gets to face his former team in a different role with mid lane this time, as an
Mhm.
early level 1 fight breaks out for Matt Duck running for his life, but he's
Matt!
all alone.
Oh, Matt Duck is up too far. Yamoja's got the bubbles and the bounces, but he's going to be able to get out of there A-okay. The Phantom Shell is going to be expended. And that's, well, he's going to stay. Can't back quite just yet with the buff spawning up, but that's a lot of his, like, sustained down. He's already used his brew, one of his, chalices, and also the Phantom Shell.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of kit down, especially pre-minion collide. There's doesn't feel good to lose anything that early, but could be a chance for Babas to have some aggression here, knowing that that support relic is down. But then Zapsy hits 4 autos onto Umoja, and all of a sudden Nat20 has the health advantage again.
Yeah, Crispy's after being given some karmic justice after letting those bubbles rain down on the duo side of the map. Now they're the ones under their own tower, and things are gonna kind of go back to even here. Looking over here, we talked about we wanted to see some shells, but instead of seeing the shell on the solo laner, he's picking up Aegis. Now we have Kaneki over here pulling up the shell.
Yeah, this might just be a comfort thing. Maybe they are worried more about the jungler ganks in the solo than the actual 1v1s themselves. Maybe just, hey, if he ults me, I can beat him inside of it, no big deal. Uh, Definitely is an option with Vulcan being able to just slam the turrets inside of the pit with him. Not sure Odin wants to stand there, but we'll have to wait and see if he gets rewarded or punished for that line of thinking. And then I don't know what value the Apollo jungle gets out of it, but if it is going to be a front to back style comp that this potentially could be, then it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Now Nat20 are going up to this buff, but wrapping in behind them is Mr. Pope. Seems they've kind of sniffed it out a little bit, but up too far is Matt Duck, and down he goes for first blood. Mr. Pope is going to go ahead and put one up on the board for Baba's Kitchen.
Yeah, skips his backs, pass super low, ends up coming below Matt Duck there, so he's just not looking at it, unfortunately. The ward is out, but not enough distance between Matt Duck and that ward for Humbots to actually be seen and give him a chance to respond. Just leaps over the wall, and that's a quick and easy first blood.
Yeah, quick and easy, and a little bit unfortunate, but obviously, as all things, this game is not quite over yet. But now, looking on the side of the map, look who's already making a rotation to solo lane. It's Mr. Pope again, stepping forward against this Vulcan, but low is Crispy Nuts. We have the Aegis to be able to get out of here A-okay. He's pulled down to about half health, but he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, so we got a little bit of value out of the Aegis here early. Not sure if, having a shell there would have been any different. They seemed to perfectly content to just leave him alone once the relic was popped, but who knows? Moster Pope is still hovering, though, and looks like he's going back in.
Yeah, going back in is Mr. Pope, as Kanaki's gonna do these rocks. Rim Cleaner, though, is looking a little bit A-okay, but he's gonna get stunned out, and now, under the tower, he's gonna be fine, but Mr. Pope is going under the tower, gonna take 2 shots. He's now low, and he's gonna take another shot
He walked
from
back
the
in.
tower again. Mr. Pope gonna fall down to Rim Cleaner.
Yeah, not sure if we just forgot how close we were to that tower line, but triple dips to try to get that kill. Hit Rim a couple times, but just not in the all-important one that would have made it a trade. So Mr. Pope goes from a very successful first blood in duo to now missing rocks, a bad gank, and possibly no. Okay, I was about to say possibly a Odin death as well, but just going to be assault.
Yeah, both ultimates going to be expended from Nat20's side. All that while Kaneki, while Mr. Pope was ganking over there, was getting rocks and then also stole Krusty Nuts' blue buff, just further pushing up this lead and also, like, killing the jungler after he decided to expend to this tier 1 tower a bit too far. But now, ults are starting to come up across the way after we saw that last fight. Duo, now that we have our ults up, I'm expecting to see a little bit more action over here.
Yeah, definitely some potential for it. It seems like both teams are kind of content to just dance around and not actually do any fighting post that little level 2 gank. Not really much action, and everyone here is full health. On her did get a back off, has a tier 2 damage item, so they do have a slight advantage item wise, but doesn't look like it's going to turn anything.
Ooh, Kaneki is defending his own red buff against Mr. Pope. The Fear No Evil is going to come out onto the disco. She's low, but no dice just yet. Going to be able to use that to make his escape. Ooh, but
Yeah,
over on
and
the left
then
side of the map, we got the River's Rebuke coming out. Zapsy's going to be pulled back in with a Riptide. Matt Duck spinning around. The Fall, the Skyfall is going to get the kill. Xenosign credited with that one, and Matt Duck is up too far still. Xenosign going to get a double kill over in this duo lane.
yeah, just good use of the ults. Baron tried to use the ult to pull in the nut, buy his on her a little bit of extra time, but got up into
Ooh.
the skies before he could get the stun off.
Yeah, Nat20 looking getting a nice return kill with a Rim Cleaner there, but Baba's Kitchen now answering back in their own way with this Gold Fury. It's down to about half HP, and I don't see nobody on Nat20 on this side of the map.
Yeah, don't think that this is contested or if they know it's being pulled. Have to assume they did just because of the circumstances. But I mean, not even backed yet, able to get the kills and get the Gold Fury now. Backs for that full item and that tier 1, whereas on her is still stuck on the tier 2. So their little item advantage still lost the fight, and now a item advantage back to Baba's duo lane.
Yeah, Baba's Kitchen finding themselves a little bit of a lead here 6 minutes into this game. 3 kills as opposed to Nat20's 2. But with a solid 1k gold lead. Again, not nothing too crazy just yet, but still solid at this early point in the game, and you can see that with Xenosign having that full item. And also Crispy House pulling up that white life binder here, having that little bit of a advantage against their support.
Yeah, slight level lead for just about everyone on Baba's Kitchen, and then Room Cleaner is just up 2 levels over in the solo lane, getting the Humbots kill and then the Odin kill following that. Able to kind of sustain him a little bit. Went Lifebinder first after the reworks with Yogis and stuff like that, preferring that. And then we have the damage build once again from Krusty's so far into the game. So not looking too good as he loses the fight to the turret and can't follow up with his sunbots.
Yeah, this turret does a lot
Uh-oh.
of damage. The Earthshaker
Oh.
is going to be a little bit short. Krusty Nuts is going to be able to survive, but now steps up Mr. Pope. He's here, but he's not going to be able to do much against this Life Binder Vulcan, but he sure is going to try. The monkey's going to teleport right on in there, but he's going to have to walk right on back out.
Yeah, Rum Cleaner kind of just, I don't want to say no threat at this point from the Sunbots, but very, very minimal, especially in a 1v1 situation like that. Obviously, Mr. Poe he could just kit dump him, but between Lifebinder and Aegis and then just Aspect Vulcan, I don't know how much value he gets out of it at this point. Better to just save those for these squishier targets that he's had success with so far.
Yeah. But now Nat20 wanting to get something for themselves are going to step up to this mid beacon. Rim Cleaner has made the trip all the way from solo lane. Krusty Nuts is still over there. So we got the player advantage. All 5 people are here for this beacon. Nat20 really valuing it, and they're going to get it.
Yeah, try to spread the wealth a little bit is Rim Cleaner here. Krusty's is going to be able to get all the neutrals, push that wave, and now if they can defend rocks, that'd feel pretty nice for Nat20. It looks like they will.
Yeah, Kaneki's going to go ahead and get all these rocks with the help of Matt Duck. Mr. Pope has to give him up, and now Kaneki's feeling a little bit stronger. Though, as most people have returned back to their respective lanes in a nice way. Unstrict, though, stepping up, is going to hit some nice damage onto the 2 in mid. Life of the party is out, and the apple is going to be good. The walls come up a little bit too late. The Phantom Shell is good enough to get Matt Duck out of there, and Unstrix finds the kill onto Crispy.
Yeah, it was a nice use of ults, get that kill, but just have to be careful for counter engage here.
Yeah, and here is the counter engage with the Fear No Evil, though Kaneki's going to be A-okay, going to be able to dash out of there. And Nat20 are going to win this fight in mid lane.
Yeah, able to get the Apollo out, so it ends up still being a 1-for-0, though Humbots is still hovering and very easily could be killed here if they turn on him. Get his beads instead. Unstrict chasing a little bit, trying to hit the root, but not going to get it. So this Discordia now even in level with this Neath as Zapsy gets killed off screen.
Xenosign gonna show you how to solo people over in the duo lane as opposed to the solo lane. Being a little, honestly, starting his trip to becoming a menace this game. He's 3-0, pretty solid player already, and while Nat20 are doing what they can to, leverage the flow, it's a very nice play over there.
He's definitely off to an amazing start, right? We had the early gank at level 2, gave him the assist lead, then got the double kill on the ults at like level 5, level 6, and now the solo kill as well. Probably a full 1,000 gold up, I'd wager, like just roughly, just the way these lanes have gone. So just not feeling too great, and Gold Fury also up now, so the next kill probably means a little bit more gold in this Baba Kitchen favor, especially with this duo lead being the size that it is.
Yeah, but look how much damage Rim Cleaner has been doing to Krusty's Nuts. He's top player damage 10 minutes into this game. My friends I play with like to say that solo lane's a bunch of fake damage because they're constantly fighting. Talking about fake damage, though, Mr. Pope has made the rotation to duo lane, but Zapsy's going to be A-okay. He's got the disperse to be able to get out of there. And now
There's
Mr.
a good
Pope
fight.
is the one at half health. Matt Duck stepping forward, but here comes Kaneki riding the chariot, but he doesn't seem to want to go in. Instead, he's going to land onto Crispy House, who made the rotation over. Life of the party is going to drag Crispy back in very slowly, going to get stunned out, but he's still living. Zapsy says, no, you aren't, going to take Crispy House down, and Nat20 are finding another kill, but Mr. Pope is here. Fear No Evil is going to get Kaneki stunned out, but he's going to be living fine, and now it's Mr. Pope in a little bit of trouble. Skyfall's going to come out, but not find too much purchase. Ooh, Xenoside's going to take a lot of damage. Matt Duck doing what he can to see if he can find a kill, but Mr. Pope and Xenosign are going to be able to get out of that fight A-okay, and now it looks like Nat20 want a position around this Gold Fury.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a miscommunication. Apollo in the air, and Matt Duck was walking back. Knowing ramp, he's probably not saying anything whatsoever and just riding in, so they just have no idea he's on the way. So that's probably what causes it. They end up getting the kill, though, drop all those ults. No one dies. We do lose on her beads, unfortunately, but at the end of the day, 1 kill in Gold Fury for literally nothing, especially if they defend this Pyro, is just, it's obviously going to be worth it.
Yeah, but Krusty Nuts is able to secure that one. So Baba's Kitchen evening out this stemming the like flooding, right? Just blocking the dam, making sure stuff doesn't go too crazy just yet. But now we've got a pretty even game. Nat20 finding a gold lead themselves after evening out the Gold Furies. And well, we asked for action and we certainly got a little bit of it.
Yeah, kind of surprised that Rim didn't just like send his ult through the wall there and kind of just wait and see what happens. Even if he didn't get the pyro, possibly could have gotten a kill.
Ooh, speaking of kills, Crispy House makes the rotation over the duo lane. Zapsy shuts him down for his third death of the game, and Crispy's first kill of the game. Matt Duck is here though, but Crispy has the Riptide to make sure he's able to get out of there A-OK. And that looks like that's going to be the end of that with no one else in the way.
Yeah, just unfortunately low, no beads. Yemo just literally sprints at him. There's not a whole lot he can do as they tower dive Neath.
Ooh, we're going to use the chariot to land on Neath in mid lane. Out comes the Apple of Discord, but Mr. Pope is here. He has the Fear No Evil. Unstrick has the beads, but he's going to fall down to the World Weaver. Tandemation getting their first kill of the game. Kaneki now caught with the River's Rebuke. He has the shell, though, but he doesn't have his life anymore. Crispy House with their second kill of the game. But now Matt Duck has stepped up. A nice Riptide's going to pull him back in, but he has the Stampede to be able to get out. Whew.
There's a lot of back-to-back fights in this game, even if they are somewhat smaller fights. Straight to duo, straight to mid, and now we're here hovering solo again as Rim Cleaner walks up through wave at Krusty's. It's a lot of little skirmishes. They're turning into objectives, but obviously I think the most that any team has had dead at the same time would be Nat20 just then with 3. And even then, that was just barely waiting on Zapsy's timer to finally tick down to 0 so he could respawn. So a lot of scrapping. Not a whole lot of crazy value. Only a 2K lead right now for Babas, or excuse me, 1800. But a lot of scrapping. They're getting after it a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm scared for this late game because just imagine as we get later and later into it where we can start seeing Matt Duck in there took a little bit too much damage, but that's because Tandemation only has about 3 items online. Imagine that Neath at full build. Imagine how fast he's going to fall then. Mr. Pope up a little bit too far. He's going to be able to get out A-OK as Kaneki steps up, but now Crispy House is rip-tiding in, and Matt Duck's putting some damage out back on him. Krusty Nuts and Rim Cleaner are here, so it looks like we're going to have a little bit of a skirmish in mid lane as Mr. Pope goes on to Kaneki in the back line, but he's taken a bit too much damage, and now he has to jump out. Life of the party is going to come out onto Mr. Pope to maybe get something out of it, but into the ultimate goes Kaneki. It looks like he's looking for Mr. Pope.
You didn't see him.
Didn't see him, unfortunately, hiding in the bush, and now he's gonna have to make the return back to mid lane. No, he's still just flying around, losing all of his mana, and now I think he has to get out of here.
Yeah, decides not to land down on the mid fight there. Pope hit that like bush perfectly right as he went over that red buff, so Ramp never sees him for the dunk down. Not sure how the dunk down would have went, but Pope getting in the bush just kind of prevents it from happening at all. Unfortunate. Just a Apollo ult for nothing. I think he started it to get out of Odin cage, but Odin ended up leaping away from him once Baron ulted, so 3 ults for 12 damage from Baron.
Yeah, Matt Duck a little bit too scary here. Maybe scary though is Zapsign. He wants to try and even out this solo kill. He has the pillar, but he doesn't have the damage just yet. Skyfall's going to come out. The beads are going to be expended, and now both of these ADCs are one, and I don't think either one wants to give up this fight just yet. Nope, scratch that. Xenosign's going to take a breath and go ahead and start skiing out of here.
Yeah, Xeno's a shutdown right now. No reason to risk a 50-50 fight when you can just reset, especially if he has fast. Get the advantage health-wise on Zapsy, and it looks like he does, but he's actually going mid for this Naga, and Zapsy is not going to be there.
Yeah, Baba's Kitchen really want to fight over this Queen Naga. Krusty Nuts is going to step up a little bit too far. Going to get mezzed out by Kaneki, so he's not able to get that stun off, but the entirety of Baba's Kitchen is here and wanting to get a little bit of fighting done. Rim Cleaner going to step up, put some turrets down, rain some damage back down his own way with that shrapnel mod and doing some nice damage. Unstrick doing his best to do what he can, but River's Rebuke is going to come out, forcing out the Phantom Shell from Nat20. Now into the life of the party goes this Baron, but out comes the Ring of Spears. Mr. Pope is going on to Unstrix, but he's taking more damage than he can hope for. Golden Apple Discord's going to be good onto him. Matt Duck's going to be credited with the kill, and now it's Nat20 with the front foot. Krusty's Nuts is a little bit too far, but also up too far is Crispy House. And gonna take some damage. Riptide gonna put him right into the Earth Shaker. Rim Cleaner on a killing spree this game, and now we are still holding W. Rim Cleaner gonna get a kill set up for Unstrict to get the shutdown on Asinus, and now it's Nat20 pulling this Queen Naga.
Yeah, very disjointed from Baba's. We had one in Pyro, we had two in the bush next to fire, and then we had two in the actual pit itself, all backing Nat20 into a corner. The problem was they were all backing them together. So it ends up being 5 strong for Nat20. Turn on Pope immediately, then turn on the 2 in the bush. It's just unfortunate the way that fight came out, but it was very scattered, very disjointed. There's a lot of good moments for both teams, but just not together.
Yeah, Baba's Kitchen not being as well, not being this well-oiled machine that we'd like to see from them just yet. Good, though, Zapsy coming all the way over in from duo lane. Now, after that, Asinus is pointing it out for us, a 3-level lead in favor of Zapsy, even though despite being 1-3 this game.
Unfortunately, Xenosign tried to take that lead and bring it over to the Naga fight. They ended up losing it, though, 4v5, so it's just situation where Zapsy free farmed for like a minute and a half as this fight restarts again.
Yeah, we are now fighting again. Crispy's gonna let the Ring of Spears come down. Kanaki's up in the air looking for another fight. Gonna land on Crispy House, but ult is not good, and Crispy's gonna be A-okay. But Kaneki is still dashing in. All the while, Nat20 are now back on the Gold Fury. Kaneki is go ahead and distracting 3 members of Baba's Kitchen so that Nat20 can step up and maybe get something here, though we are a little bit split. Matt Duck is gonna run at Xenosign, get some damage off on him, but after getting the Gold Fury, Nat20 are gonna go ahead back to base and spend their gold.
Yeah, everyone keeps trying to look at this Apollo because he's a hunter, and everyone's thinking he's squishy. That's an Apollo aspect, man. The only damage he has built is Golden Blade. Like, everything else, Berserkers, Shoguns, looks like he's going into a second defensive item. Wouldn't be surprised if he grabs a third and a fourth right after that as well. He is a tanky boy. He's probably pretty close to Matt Duck in the terms of actual protections built and value, like mitigation-wise. It's just not a target that we really want to go for. We need to be getting to this disco and to this on her, but at this point, level 18, like we said, didn't rotate, sat there and free farmed. Probably don't want to get to on her at all, ever again. Like, it's just, he is big. Now we're in, let's stem bleeding and get to late, so everyone is 20.
Mm-hmm. Talking about big damage, though, look at Rim Cleaner with 20k damage this game. A lot of that, I'm sure, is from his shrapnel turrets, and they're just going to go ahead and burn down this Pyromancer. Crispy steps up, maybe trying to hope to get a bubble, but yeah, Rim Cleaner just does way too much objective damage.
Yeah, I mean, this is why you pick the god, this is why you build him the way that you do, but that hurt. Unstrict getting ulted through the wall because good old Neethi just gonna take care of it. They're pulling the fire in front of Krusty.
Yeah, Krusty's gonna step up. They know they're pulling the fire. Krusty knows about it, but what more can you do about it as your health bar is gone? Zapsy is credited with the kill. Matt Duck is gonna take down Crispy House after they bring down the River's Rebuke. Earthshaker gonna be a little bit high, but in the sky is Kaneki gonna land down on Mr. Pope. We have the Mez keep him dead. We're gonna force the beats, but that doesn't matter because Rim Cleaner is on a rampage this game. All the meanwhile, Xenosign, taking a page out of Zapsy's book, is going to split push in their own little way, but Unstrick is here to defend the Phoenix. All the while, Nat20 are going to be stepping up to this Fire Giant.
Yeah, we mentioned Rim Cleaner's damage right before that fight started, but respectfully, Rim Cleaner did 2k damage there, and Zapsy did a full 5,000 damage in that first part. Yebo and Odin getting blown up, that was 4,000 of that was Zapsy, so rotated out with this big lead that he got from not rotating last time and immediately gave a lot of value to his team there in that team fight. Was a 4v4 after the Unstrict pick, and it didn't seem like it was even numbers at all. I don't know if anyone on Nat20's team got below half health.
Yeah, Nat20, this game has been back and forth a little bit, but Nat20 showing that they can find the bigger swing their way. 20 minutes into this game, they have 13 kills, and they're now out a little bit 6k gold ahead of Baba's Kitchen. And Yeah, I mean, what can Baba's Kitchen do to hopefully get back in this game? Hold that thought, though, as the beads are going to be exported as dispersed in is Zapsy. Up into the Skyfall goes Xenosign, but he is not dead just yet. But he's going to be able to survive a little bit longer. The Skyfall's going to keep him alive, but more and more are rotating over from Nat20. Kaneki going to get credited with the kill. Thank you, Zapsy, for setting that one up for us. And now we have Nat20 stepping up to this left lane, gonna put some pressure down over it, while all the meanwhile, Baba's Kitchen in the mid lane are gonna push it down that way. Now, though, they're channeling backs as they can want to be able to defend their tier 2, or, well, Phoenix rather, in this left lane, and what do you know? Nat20, that's exactly what they're going to do. Stepping up to this Phoenix. Are they doing it now? Yes, Krusty Nut's going to step forward a little bit. Ring of Spears and the River's Rebuke are going to come down, but we have shells for a reason, baby. We got to space those out better in the future. Kaneki going to pull down to a little bit, but Rim Cleaner's got the damage. Zatsy's got the kill onto Krusty's Nuts, and now it's Nat20 once again. A huge pillar is going to kill Tandemation. Double kill for Zapsy, as we are now in the base. Rim Cleaner's letting the damage fly, and also letting the damage fly onto the Titan is Nat20. It's down to about 12k HP at this point. Dispersing in is Zapsy. He's doing a ton of damage. Rooted out is Crispy House, but he is still surviving. This Titan is now down to about 5k HP. We got the dagger to bring us back up. Rim Cleaner is still surviving, but what isn't surviving is this Titan is down to 1k HP. Matt Duck, Rim Cleaner, going to get another kill before this game is out, and Nat20 take the win.
Wow. Okay. I did not think that that was the end call. It apparently was. 23-minute game 1 for Nat20 there. Yeah.
Woo!
Okay. Rim
Uh,
Cleaner was perfectly the bridge for that early to mid game. And then Zapsy was the perfect bridge for just about everything else. I was going to say, uh, like, after they left the Phoenix, and left, because we normally don't end games at 23 minutes. But this is the one time that we got to see Baba's fully 5v5 since that early rotation at the Naga that didn't go their way when Zeno rotated. This is the first time we actually got to see a 5v5 out of them, but used both their walls immediately. I'm assuming just because of maybe some lack of communication. But one shell, two shell, it doesn't really matter what they use. They're out of it immediately, and now they're just not under that threat anymore. And then, I mean, Rim Cleaner just hit the nastiest all of the set and utterly annihilated 4 of the 5 players. And that's a quick one for Nat20.
Yeah, Nat20 able to pull that one out. Krusty Nuts only doing 7k damage that game. I don't want to say solo diff, but I will, what's the word? Dance around it. Absolute pressure and damage all the way through. But will Nat20 be able to close the setup 2-0, or will Baba's Kitchen bring it around and bring us to a game 3? Find out next. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Babylon Smite League's Nat20 versus Baba's Kitchen set. Baba's Kitchen now going to be on the first pick side. I'm still MoonMellows, he's still Airborne, and we're now ready for game number two.
Yeah, it was all in all a very active game for both teams. There was a lot of scrapping, even if it didn't turn into kills or crazy leads. I think from minute two was the first gank on duo lane. After that, I don't think there was ever more than a minute and a half or 2 minutes of actual peace before we were broadcasting a different fight in a different lane with just some other objective in mind. Thor and
hmm
Thanatos getting the repeat bans. But keynotes is the historic or the banked bands here that we've got from the fellas that played in game one. The blank spot is going to be that nut. There's no graphic for it yet, but that is still just the nut. Then Jing Wei banned for the first time this game.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit new, but not too surprising. Ramp might be able to pull that over. His second
Yeah.
Hunter Jungle. Definitely would love to split push on that god, but not gonna let it through. Also, not gonna be let through this game still is this Hecate. But what do you think has to change for Baba's Kitchen? Because they had some decent fights. Like you said, they got first blood that game. Mr. Pope had a great engage over here, though, as Chiron is going to be first picked up for Baba's Kitchen.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one god that we left up difference from last game was going to be this Chiron. But Baba's was who bad last time, so maybe Nat20 not too worried about it. I don't know. I think Xeno and Zapsy are probably just the two best ADCs down here in this division. So seeing either of them on a quote unquote best god in role makes me a little worried for the rest of the competition. But ESET is obviously a very good support pick as well, and depending on what Nat20 gets here at the second pick, I kind of like it, but we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. But back to your question, I think Baba's, like you said, had some very good moments. They were ahead at the start of the game, but it didn't translate into anything big, right? Like we had a really good early, and then we just had nothing in that mid game once Rim Cleaner started to come over and pressure out himself. So I think we try to keep Krusty's on level so Rim Cleaner can't just free rotate and still maintain that lead, and that looks like a very different game for them.
Yeah, Rama is also going to be picked up by Nat20 over here as their second pick. Baba's Kitchen though going to answer with Agni, and I want to ask you about this Rama. I've seen it a few times. I've heard some differing opinions on it, but overall, I think most people agree that this god doesn't really feel too strong, as opposed to like many of the other hunters we have in the game. Do you think it's worthy being I won't say first picked, but like second picked for Nat20?
I think it's definitely just one of those things where if you have good players and they say, "Hey, I want to play a comfort pick," you kind of just have to let them do it, right? Like, just got done saying that I think Xeno and Zapsy are the two best ADCs down here. At the end of the day, if I'm Rampior and I just played Apollo jungle and did like 9,000 damage, if Zapsy looks me in the face and says, "Hey man, I want to play Rama now," Zapsy's gonna get that Rama, and there's just not much we can do about it. uh, but I've seen Zapsy's been playing it recently, and his middle name is Chris Kyle, so he does hit those snipes, and he's going to be perfectly okay. Hopefully speaking up on the top of that tower, but Chiron obviously is the meta pick right now, so we've got comfort into meta pretty much like 100% factually. But Shock, Achilles, and ESET is a really good front line to have while playing this Rama.
hmm Yeah, like, I'm assuming probably, hopefully, Achilles jungle, unless, Ramp wants to surprise us with a Shock jungle, or Unstrict wants to go ahead and pull out the Shock himself, but I can only assume that's where that's going to go. But Danza Burrow also picked up for Baba's Kitchen. I kind of like it. I kind of like the Rocket into the Centaurus Ultimate Agni's also going to have some, like, huge damage out by himself. With Agni and Danza Burrow selected, does that mean this Chiron might be going into the support role?
So Crispy did this last time, and he went Golden Blade first item. Then I think he went like Yogis, and then all damage afterward. And it went well for them. I just I'm not sure. And with the Daji lock, it's almost exclusively going to go into solo now. So I have to wait and see how it performs. Last time he had it, he went like 5-1, and they won the game in like 25 minutes. So hard to argue with a 100% win rate pick for them in that support role. But we've gone for the super squishy high damage team into the super tanky and also probably still high damage team because this
Mhm.
chalk is probably going aspect and going mid.
Yeah, it's kinda devious that Nat20, this comp that they have constructed, this E set has Circle of Protections chalk, unless they go aspect, has the, like, sustain, Achilles, just straight up damage, and of course, Artio. Maybe an Artio mid, ha ha ha, won't happen. Maybe chalk mid, maybe E set mid. Nat20 kind of a interesting draft, not as, I would say, uh, not as meta, but surely interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I really have a favorite comp here. They both just have very different identities, right? And a lot of it'll just kind of boil down to what Nat20 ends up doing with these five gods. I think the only one that I'm confident 100% certain is that Rama is ADC. And that's all I've got, man. Like, I can see three of these in mid. I can see all of them in solo. I can see three of
Mhm.
these in support. Like, we'll wait and see how it looks. But if they do decide to go, the just four absolute like hybrid mega tanks and then Rama in the back, if Zapsy can't be found, Zapsy's going to get like 60,000 damage this game. Like they have to find him before the fight starts because I'm not sure how Daji gets past it. We're looking at like Bologna Blink alt engage to find where Zapsy's at right now.
Yeah, like looking at these two teams, that totally definitely has like the scarier comp when it comes down to it. Matt Duck is going to be piloting the RDO, Unstrick on this ESET, Kaneki and the Achilles, and Rim Cleaner on the Chalk. No aspect, so he's going to opt for that healing. And it is going to be Crispy House on this Chiron support. Talked about it a little bit on the desk, but how do you? And also, I just noticed building strength first item might maybe
Yep.
going into a Triton conch, but how do you feel about Chiron and support over his other roles?
I'm a really big believer that supports have to have CC, and that's what keeps their ADC safe. The last time Crispy played it, he went into Golden Blade first, and they just peeled through damage and aggroed through damage and killed with damage, and that's just how they did things. But into the team that they faced, it went well, right? They had two pseudo ADCs in this duo lane role, and the jungler wasn't finding any success over there, so they ended up just skyrocketing and having crazy leads, and it was awesome. But if he gets put down behind early, it could be rough trying to translate that into an actual support, but their clear is borderline out of this world.
Yeah, definitely a solid from them. Crispy House, though, gonna get poked out a little bit, and in fact, out cleared they are by Nat20. Matt Duck not going for aspect RDOs, but I kind of, well, not really expect, but kind of see a lot from supports as they're played as we go into this pause. Uh, Nat20 have a lot of CC, but also Baba's Kitchen has this Chiron. I know you're not really relying on the cleanse from Chiron because it's simple to put on, but of
Yeah,
course it's like not something that you want to have to rely on.
yeah.
But it's
It's
still there.
inconsistent at the
Nice.
Gilgamesh level is probably the
Yeah, yeah,
best way
yeah,
to
yeah.
put it.
Exactly. But it is nice because let's say Chalk's like channeling that Thunder Strike, be able to get him out of there. I don't know. I'm excited, and I love playing Chiron support. I'm excited to see how it's gonna do in a more like I don't want to say professional, but a more like higher stakes setting than just regular ranked games.
Yeah, it definitely has a high ceiling, right? If he truly pilots this Chiron as well as possible in support, he'd be a Tiamat player, but you get what I'm saying. If he does,
Mhm.
if he's consistent on these cleanses, if he's super accurate with these knockups, if he, builds the stampedes and stuff like that, he's going to have a lot of just innate pressure because of the fact he is a secondary ADC, but he also has the cleanse, he has the knockup, he has all these different things he can leverage. It's just like you said, it's gonna come down to just how well the pick can be played and how pressured it ends up being as we
Mhm.
get right back into this game.
Yeah, we're back into it, and Baba's Kitchen now finding themselves a little bit on the back foot. Just looks like the Zaps TMF Duck just have a little bit better clear here, the Xenosign and Chiron. But already, though, look at where Unstrick is. He's getting the back camps on the mid laner. That is insane pressure so far, like 2 minutes into this game.
Yeah, I mean, anything that can convince the jungler to stay away from our duo side on Nat 20 right now feels great, right? We're trying to keep as even as possible to this Chiron and Danza, hoping to not create any advantages for them. But already, as you can see, Rama, no health pots left after that little wave 1 trading that he did with the Chiron. And so not a whole lot of sustain options for them if they do continue these into fights. But Achilles here on an early gank this time.
Yeah, Achilles is here, but under the tower are Baba's Kitchen, so not too much is going to come out of it other than Xenosign's health bar. Going to be matching in similarity there with Ganaki's ramps, and now he's forced to back and it gives chance Mr. Pope to do something over in the mid lane, but he too is going to back. So again, just kind of playing it a little bit slower than we did that first game. Baba's Kitchen learning that a 2-minute gank might be coming with Xenosign, though. Stepping forward is a Crispy House on this Chiron. Now we have the stun marker up on the Mat Duck, but yeah, not too much out of it.
Yeah, and this is coming back to that pressure. Just even then, just had a gank, right? And now all of a sudden, Baba's is the one that ends up with the pressure out of it. It's just a weird situation with a lane like this, and it's not one that you probably see too often in scrims, in casuals, and ranked and stuff like that. So trying to learn how to play this while playing against it in a comp setting is kind of rough, as Ramp takes his second back after trying to get some pressure over in the solo lane, and looks like nothing was really done there.
Yeah, it looks like that this Achilles doesn't have too great of an early pressure just yet. Maybe has that stun to be able to slow people down, but now it's Kaneki and Mr. Pope stepping up to these rocks. Kaneki, though, has a little bit of a level lead after those waves he's been soaking in. Gonna have to poke out Mr. Pope, making him have to take the back seat to these rocks. Though the first one to rotate over is Bologna, but over in the mid lane, Tandemation, he has his ultimate and is gonna let the damage rain down into Unstrict. Unstrict pulled down to about a third HP. And these rocks are we're still fighting over these rocks. Kaneki's gonna let some damage range down, force out the Aegis onto Crispy Nuts, and rotating over is Rim Cleaner. He's got the damage and the Aegis himself to make some damage rain down. Rotating over from the mid lane is Tandemation, but first one going down is Crusty Nuts. Crispy House is gonna find we're gonna get a double kill over here on the duo side of the map though, but now Nat20 are gonna be able to step up and get these rocks.
Yeah, it looked like they tried to go for a purple buff invade. Uh, didn't work out, apparently.
Now you're purple's
Didn't
invaded.
see it, so going to assume that, 2 people died and it was them, so probably didn't work out. But just the first blood going to the ESET there, like a quarter of a second before I think it was Matt Duck who fell first, is actually like insanely fortunate for them.
Yeah.
Not getting that first blood gold against them in that duo lane, and instead it getting put onto this ESET is obviously very, very valuable for Nat20, and just one of those swings that just so happened to go into their favor with both those fights taking place at the same time. Kind of surprised only one person died in that fight in solo lane, though.
Ooh, only one person died in the fight in solo lane, and Xenosign's probably going to make another fall down over here. The beads are going to be expended from this Ardio, but it's not enough to save Zapsy's life. Matt Duck is going to stun out too, but Crispy House has the damage, and he has the Centaurus shots. You know what? It's a pretty scary lane over here, but over in mid lane, Tandemation is going to be taking some damage from Unstrict, but he has the beads and is able to dash away to safety.
Yeah, a lot of poke there. Iset didn't have the ult up. Maybe even a chance that he ends up killing there if he does, just because of the way that that ult gets charged. But instead, going to be an early Gold Fury pull by this Baba's Kitchen dual lane. And dual ADC, right, with this Chiron that looks like, I couldn't even tell you what they're building.
Probably maybe a golden bow, but it doesn't matter though, because up in the padlock goes Mr. Pope, and he's using it just to get out of here. Kaneki is going to use the fatal strike on the Crispy House, and he falls down.
Huge.
Order team though are able to get the Gold Fury, so not all is bad, but Tandemation and Crispy are falling for it. It looks like Xenosign might be next. Spirit Ball a little bit off the mark, and Unstrix, after taking a tower shot, has to get out of here.
Able to get 2 there. Didn't get the gold, unfortunately, but better to get 2 than 0. I have no idea how Mr. Pope was the person that ended up survived there. Like 100 health on the Palau before he fell down, so no clue how he's the one who lives, but he does. And Rampior getting both those kills to try to help with this early. Has the Golden Blade built, so should be clearing really, really fast and has a chance to really snowball this if he is on top of things. And then, Chalk into Bologna.
Yeah,
They swing.
just two big warriors hitting each other. about maybe Chalk though has a little bit of advantage here. Not under advantage
Uh,
though is Tandemation. He has to expend the beads after the Spirit Ball was on the mark, and
there
we
you
have
go.
the auto at the end of it. Unstrick with his second kill of the game is going to show him that he could play around in mid as well as jungle.
Yeah, well, we watched the first scrim, or at least I did, when Unstrick was filling in for the team, like roughly 30 minutes before the trade went through, I think it was. Uh, I was spectating Unstrict, and after both his games, he was like, man, oh, well, never mind, it's a fight. Back to you.
No. Yeah, and there is a fight. Unstrick is going to the circle protections, but here is the rocket all the way over. Xenosign gonna go on a killing spree this game, and he's a-okay. Crispy House is gonna let some damage rain on through to make sure that his ADC isn't gonna fall down. But Kaneki is here at full health, and he sees low health targets. He's got the dash in, but Kaneki has the powwow, but with the fatal strike is able to get out of there. But now Kaneki has stepped up too far. Tandemation is gonna let some bombs rain down and gonna kill himself.
Yeah, the only one close was Matt Duck and just doesn't have the health to follow up there. Kaneki trying to make some plays, trying to get into a position where he could, get a kill or two to trade out his teammates, but unfortunately just a little too aggressive all by himself and way too much CC on that Baba's team for him to actually get out of there. Daji used the ult, so he has to ult for safety, and then just not fun after that.
Yeah, Unstrick is going to take a lot of damage stepping up to this beacon, though. He's poked out, and he can't step up too much further. Now, Xenosign is going to be standing on the beacon. But now with Kaneki's approach, is going to be forced back out himself. Mr. Pope, though, on the wraparound, maybe, seeing if he can find something. His ultimate's down, so not too much he can do in CC-wise, but he's still got the damage. Xenosign taking damage himself, now down to about half HP, but he's still not scared stepping up. But Matt Duck going to be forced down low after Mr. Pope lets some damage rain on through. Kaneki, though, stepping forward. Unstrick is going to let the circle protections go out, and that's just to heal his team back up. But the rocket is here. Matt Duck's trying to block it, but we got the shoes to be able to juke it around. Unstrick, though, is going to be able to survive with a nice shield, and Matt Duck is forward trying to get a kill onto Mr. Pope, dodging the kill. Not anymore. Matt Duck credited for it, and Xenosign has to get on out of here.
Knowing Unstrict, he is absolutely screaming at the top of his lungs at Matt Duck to turn right and to go after that Daza instead. But Matt Duck super focused in on the Daji, ends up killing. So obviously still got a kill, but I can just guarantee you that Unstrict at the top of his lungs is yelling, to your right, he's one shot, but not going to fall. But Unstrict lives there too, so can't be too mad about it. But weird situation in that fight is Crispy is actually the one that stayed in duo lane and kept the wave from crashing under tower while Zapsy sat there, so Xenosign could rotate to that mid fight, support into ADC rather than ADC farming.
Yeah, Crispy showing that he's an ADC as well as Rim Cleaner is going to go down to the Eagles rally. But now it's Matt Duck against 3. Mr. Pope going to go ahead and get out this neutral camp. They're going to be stunned out. That means Unstrick is here with a bit of damage. But Crispy with that Centaurus is going to provide some shielding, some movement speed, and now this fight is turned back around. Up into the powwow goes Mr. Pope, but not going to find any targets just yet. And this fight is going to go ahead and start to sizzle out.
So we're back to the scrappiness. We went from no kills in the first 2 or 3 minutes to now we have 13 at the 10-minute marker. So all the, hey, maybe we should be a little bit more careful, and it's out the window now, and has been since First Blood itself was found. I don't think we've had another minute of peace since the first 2 minutes, but this is what both the teams like doing in their sets, so clearly not too bothered by the fact that it's 1-0 and just doing what they normally do. As Chiron gets caught out here and body block.
Yeah, Chiron has stepped up too far. He has the shell to not be able to take down too low, but Zaxi has the snipes to take Crispy down. You don't got to execute, but I do. Mr. Pope going to execute Connie on the way out. And now Xenosign is up in the business. We have a nice taunt. We're going to go ahead and get the ADC double kill for Mr. Pope. Tandemation is going to find Zapsy, but over from the middle lane comes Unstrick. He's going to try and find some damage on the Xenosign, but he doesn't have it just yet, and now he has to get out of here. In fact, Mr. Pope is going to go ahead and send him to the gray screen. That's a 4 for 0.
No, not 0. We got Chiron.
Oh, right, yeah, right.
And we took the support. Come on.
I'm sorry, I got excited.
It starts so well, and it gets flipped on its head. Agni obviously able to rotate faster than Eset. gets there and just has insane value immediately. Both the duo laners falling. Ramp fell right after Chiron, so Hero's already dead at that point. 5v4 turned into a 4v4, turned into a 3v4, into a 0. And it is just not much else. But man, those snipes were good. Great snipes.
Yeah, Zapsy's doing what he can, but now it's Zapsy's versus Crispy's, and this ain't a solo because Mr. Pope's over here to go ahead and get credited for the kill. This Chiron's doing damage, that's for sure, as Kaneki is going to start chasing them down.
Yeah, this god is fun, man. You remember when I said before game 1 that I hate watching this god? It's just there's just no risk. Okay, this is the no risk part. He just walked up into an ADC's face, it's 2 levels down, and won the trade. I hate this god. I cannot stand it. He does just as much damage, sustains himself, cleanses himself, and he's death immune in assault. So even if you both get low and you get the killing blow first, he just clicks 4 and wins anyway. I hate it, but he's piloting it well for as much as I hate it. He's doing very, very well on the pick, as clearly shown by the fact he is 2-2 and 7.
Crispy is doing a lot this game. While second to bottom on the player damage charts, Baba's Kitchen are kind of just like dominating the player's damage charts. Xenosign's been making waves over here, 3-0 this game so far, 12 minutes into it. Rim Cleaner, though, putting some damage out into Krusty Nuts, and Mr. Pope is here hiding in the bush, seeing if Rim wants to go in a little bit further, probably waiting for some abilities before he does that gank, but no. Rim Cleaner's going to go ahead and call that one off and head back towards mid lane. But
yeah,
with
Rim.
This. Zapsy goes up to the ult, hits 2 snipes, not able to find a third one. Xenosign is still alive in this 2v1, and he is stepping forward. Not anymore. Yep. Crispy House. Well, all the while that's happening, they're able to get the Pyromancer though, so that's not too shabby.
He stayed.
Oh, they both stayed, and now it's it's Xenosign versus Zapsy. We're in the Leafs, so hopefully we know it's here. Dashing in, though, is Zapsy. Not able to find the auto on the backside. Xenosign is going to kill him with those bags.
Yeah, that's rough. Clearly a gank that didn't end up well. All 3 left 1 shot, and it ends up being the team that got the gank that ends up falling there. Feels bad, but it just this Danza is very, very big. 4-0 and 8. Lot of gold value in those kills and assists, and they continue to have the pressure in the duo lane because of it. Not able to trade anything out on the solo side, but we got rocks.
Yeah, Nat20 going to Krusty Nuts. He has the Eagles rally to get out of there, but we get the rocks out of it, so it's not too shabby. But yeah, this game is slowly reaching into scary territory as Mr. Pope is going to use the Trickster Spirit to get in there. Going to use the Palo onto Unstrick. Unstrick is going to fall down, use the Circle of Protections to maybe get some damage off as he goes. But now we have 4 members of Baba's Kitchen in the right side jungle, and they're looking for Rim Cleaner.
I'm going to assume Unstrick's beads just came up because he had them as he died, so I'm going to assume he didn't have them when he was paloed. But going to fall there. So hopefully he did not have them up. Otherwise, that sucks. But 5-man gank at 15 minutes. Good solo lane.
Yeah,
I hate this game. I hate it. Make solo lane have an entire wall from spawn to spawn, dude. I don't want any ganks over there anymore. Why is it called solo if he gets 5-manned at 15 minutes? That's awful.
Unfortunate for Rim Cleaner, though. He's going to fall down, and Baba's Kitchen are going to go ahead and pull this Queen Naga. Nat20, though, are going to go ahead and start this Gold Fury, but on the rotation is Baba's Kitchen, and this Gold Fury isn't falling too fast. It's down to about 3k HP, and the Bellona is already here.
We don't have East at all.
And we don't have Isa anymore. And now stepping forward, we have the Centaurus shots. Chaos team, though, Nat20 are going to be able to secure that one. But now it is now a 5v4. Now scratch that 5v5 as Xenosign has made his way back in from base. It seems like we're wanting to fight once again.
Yeah, Krusty somehow ulted in and ended up being the one that had to, run. So not really sure how that ended up going that way, but full disengage from Nat20, get the Gold Fury in what was a 4v5 with no ult to secure. I mean, it's a great coin flip that just went their way. Ramp going to have to beat the Powwow as the fight continues.
Yeah, but we have one last Powwow on to Rim Cleaner. He has the Thunderstrike to get him out of here. ESET ultimate gonna be popped, but the kill ain't gonna be good just yet. The rocket gonna spin right around. Zapsy's got a shutdown onto Mr. Pope. The snipes are true and good from this Rama. And now it is a 4v5 in this mid lane against the Beacon. Zapsy is letting some damage rain on through, and so is Unstrick, but Unstrick is gonna be poked out. Matt Duck now also having to step back as he's a little bit under health bar, but Baba's Kitchen are still standing strong under this Beacon. They don't want to give it up for free because they have a ton of range poke, but Kaneki is here, and Kaneki is going to do what he can to force Baba's Kitchen out. Doesn't have that Fatal Strike up just yet, but he's going to have enough damage to make sure that Nat20 are the ones to step up for this Beacon, and yeah, Xenocide wants to step up, but the rest of his team wants to get back home.
Not sure how this has happened, but what was a 7k lead for Baba's after that shock gank somehow has turned into 4 after 2 other fights where they had that gold lead and this Naga that they ended up securing as well. So not sure what's swung in these different team fights. I'm not noticing anything crazy, but Nat20 is just all of a sudden not dying anymore in these engagements, and they keep taking 1 or 2 with them, closing this gap down.
Yeah, Nat20 are not going down without a fight. It's very fun to see. Unstrick, while being 2-3 this game, is still pumping out some decent damage on his side, about 10k up as he damage rained through. Woo! Brings Matt Duck down to about half HP, and is going to force the circle of protections onto Unstrick, and Xenosign is here with the rocket, but he's the only one up. Crispy House is going to be credited with the kill, but Xenosign is going to be shut down by Kaneki with the Fatal Strike. And now up into the Powwow is Mr. Pope, but it doesn't matter too much. But, well, hold that thought, though, as Mr. Pope is going to have some damage returned back on to Mr. Duck. And we have the Trickster Spirit under the Tier 2 tower. Zapsy says, "What are you doing?" Snipes him back down, make sure his ego's back in place, and that is now a 2 for 2 in this engagement.
Yeah, I mean, once again, this not even 5 minutes ago, this would have been a 4 for 1 or a 4 for 2 or something that just would not have gone Nat20's way, but instead ends up being a even trade, and now even winning the aggression in solo lane while potentially getting a 3rd kill in mid. So the game is like flipped on its head, even though Baba still has this gold lead. The last 4 or 5 minutes just not doing anything with it. I'm not sure if we're just missing abilities in these fights or what, but it's just not working out for them.
Zapsy, much like Zapman, is showing that you don't really care about the early game as long as I get to late game and I can start doing a bunch of damage. He started out 1-5 and is now 4-5 in this game, slowly clawing his way up to a better KDA. Unstrick has the Circle of Protections to secure that Pyromancer, and now Nat20 are slowly finding themselves, like you said, more and more little wins, little objectives. And despite being behind in gold, they're finding, they're winning these poke battles and these, little skirmishes, so they're able to get more and slowly pull themselves ahead.
Yeah, I think it's just the innate nature probably of just the tankiness of this lineup, able to win these poke battles out and then just kind of all in on top of it. And it's gone their way so far. Would like to see them continue it as Matt Duck is starting to corner Xeno with Zapsy on his way as well on this Rama.
Yeah, Zapsy is here, but can we slow down Xenosign enough for
well, he doesn't have a tier 2.
Yeah. Oh, but Zapsy is gonna be able to take Xenosign out. Crispy was here, but I don't think he wants to be here too much longer as Matt Duck decides to chase him out. Mr. Pope is here, and we have this Trickster Spirit to go on to Zapsy. Zapsy now into his own ultimate. We're gonna let some damage rain down, but he should fall shortly. Crispy House is gonna be credited for that one, but Kaneki is gonna be credited for the kill onto Mr. Pope, and now Crispy House is up too far. Matt Duck's gonna stun him out. Crispy has a cleanse for himself, but it's not going to be too great as Kaneki gets the double kill And now it's Papa's Kitchen stepping up to Matt Duck. Krusties has rotated all the way in for the solo lane. Is going to let some damage rain on down. Matt Duck, though, looking at Tandemation, going to let his own damage rain through. But Tandemation has the bombs. Kaneki has stepped up, so now we got to step back. And Unstrix is here to provide what damage he can. But Krusty Nuts, he built tank this game because he sure ain't dying. Circle of Protections is a little off, but we have the Aegis for the Spirit Bomb. Krusty Nuts is living, making so much space. Finally, going to fall down to Kaneki, but look at Nat20. They are in Baba's Kitchen's jungle, but I don't think it matters too much as Xenosign is found out with the ultimate and the beads there used on the taunt. But Nat20, finding 2 for none.
That is an absolutely insane chase for a Bologna at 20 minutes, going below the speed buff. Agni tries to punish it, tries to get this E-set, but just not connecting on the first few abilities. Finally hits the stun and bomb, and E-set just beads, and they all run to security, and now they're pulling a gold. But that is a diabolical chase down from purple buff all the way to the gate to the Phoenixes.
Nat20 gonna find their second Gold Fury of the game. And remember when Baba's Kitchen had a lead? Yeah, I do too. Forget it though, because Nat20 now pulling themselves about a 1k gold lead. Not too crazy, but assuming that what they've had to done to get to this point is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, they came back, like you said, Zapsy starting 1-5, was 4-5 when you said it, now 5-6. Gets the second gold of this game after starting the game 2-0 Gold Furies for Baba. Just not really sure how they're getting away with some of this stuff. Like, hey, man, go Nat20, you know, like, get the win, I guess. But I think it might just be the natural, like, tankiness of the picks plus the build paths. They're just not... There's no counter engage into someone that has all these prots and all this health right now. Like, they tried to pick the E-set, didn't go their way, but who else do you target on that dive? The RDO support, the level 17 default chalk? Like, there's just no killing these people this early into the game. And now Chiron gonna fall as well when he's done with his ult.
Yeah, Unstrike is gonna go ahead and take Crispy down. Tandemation fell down as well, and Krusty Nuts is gonna fall down for a double kill for Unstrike, making his KDA look nice and pretty. Nat20 now positioning around this Fire Giant, and it's only Xenosign and Mr. Pope alive.
And now a Fire Giant pull. Which, keep in mind, this game is a lot more competitive and has gone longer already than Game 1 has. This time, Game 1, the Titan was dead, and the first Fire, I think, was pulled at 19 minutes. So a much more competitive game, and the numbers show that as well. But just the other coin flip of this, I'm going to stop harping on it, but it's just insane. Baba just seems really disjointed right now. Like, that fight starts with 2 in mid, then one more also walks into mid, one's at red, just not grouped up, especially if we know Xeno is in this left-hand lane, trying to get these levels, trying to get this farm back as he is now behind this Rama, right? We just have to know, hey, we can't fight here, right? Xeno is a guy we're depending on to get through all these tanks, and there are 3 of them. So if he's not there, there's just no pressure on these tanks. And they took the fight anyway. I don't really know why, but they did. So hopefully they slow down, take a deep breath. They've got fire, yeah, but I mean, they're getting a tier 2 or tier 1 right now. There's 2 tier 2s left. Nothing crazy right now. Still only a 4K lead. This is not the end of the game.
Yeah, but Mr. Pope, after finding an engage onto Kaneki, he's going to do his best, but Kaneki is going to be able to get out of there A-OK. Xenosign used the ultimate to get in here, and now it's Matt Duck found in between a rock and a hard place. The dagger was not good there. Crispy House credited for a double kill. This Chiron support does damage. Also doing damage in the backline is Mr. Pope, but Zapsy is able to find Tandemation as the backwards rotation. That's a good shutdown kill, but now Zapsy is stuck in between a rock and a hard place, but Rim Cleaner here has some disruption. Doesn't matter though, as Mr. Pope finds the kill, and now it's Rim Cleaner having to clean up what best he can, kill Xenosign out, and now he's just doing his best to survive, but it's not going to do him too much good as Mr. Pope gets a triple kill in this mid lane brawl.
Yeah, we finally saw Baba's group up. This time Nat20 was the one not grouped up there. Took the fight a little bit early. Kaneki gets poked out, has to ult away for safety. Matt Duck walks in, assuming to create some space for him. Unfortunately, he just gets utterly blown up, not able to pop that dagger. And then the fight afterward, obviously, is a 3v5 or 3.5 with what Ramp's health bar was. Rim able to create a lot of just time, and Zapsy getting some damage off, just not enough between the two players there.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate, but this game is a bit more competitive as it was before Baba's Kitchen, evening out that gold lead a little bit. Still, though, Nat20 about 1k gold ahead, but 26 minutes in, 1k isn't really all that much. Krusty Nuts, though, stepping up a little bit far, but he's going to be fine, as Nat20 now start to position around this Ancient Fury.
Yeah, we are right back to pretty much start of the game with a gold lead. Fire all gone now, so this is just straight up, hey, 26 minutes, even game, 5v5. Gold, only objective up, 2 tier towers for both sides. Never mind.
Oh! Unstrict found out a little bit too far. Krusty Nuts has the Eagles rally to stun him out, and Xeno signs up into the rocket, but Kaneki has the Fatal Strike to be able to get out of there, but we got slowed to chasing him down as Mr. Pope. Tandemation is going to get a kill onto Kaneki, and now it's Baba's Kitchen, 5-man in the middle lane. And 3 people are alive, and they are only just now channeling backs. This Phoenix is going to go down easy peasy.
Yeah, this Phoenix is definitely gone, and potentially a base. Yeah, there it is, a base
Ooh.
push. Zapsy's still in that duo lane.
Zapsy hasn't channeled his back yet, and he's still fighting, and Baba's Kitchen are now stepping up to this Titan. The Titan is now falling. It's down to 2k HP. Scratch that. Baba's Kitchen have brought us to a game 3.
Yeah, right back to game 3 with you again, Moon.
I'm cursed.
You are
I didn't
actually
want to say
cursed.
it. Every game I've casted has been a game 3, but Baba's Kitchen are proving that they're good enough to bring us there. Mr. Pope absolutely clinical this game, 10, 4, and 10 on this dodgy pick.
Yeah, had a lot of value on the Dodgy. We saw him early, mid, and late, getting a lot of value out of the Palau, if not just his own fighting as well. Most gold in the lobby besides Zapsy. Uh, one of the better performers on his team, especially, kills wise and death wise. But just all in all, Baba's kind of looked like they recognized that they weren't showing up as 5 to these fights, made sure they showed up to the very next one as 5, won it. Saw that Nat20 was a little overextended, it looked like, took the fight again, won it, and then just ran it down after that. Zapsy not able to channel that back fast enough, and so ends up being just a rim cleaner and I think maybe a Matt Duck Phoenix defense and then Titan defense, and it was just never going to go their way.
Yeah, Baba's Kitchen though, pulling it back from a back and forth game, able to find an engagement, able to take it out and bring us to a game number 3, showing that they are down but they are not out. Can they win this set, or is Nat20 going to go ahead and bring it back for us? Find out in a few. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Nat20 Baba's Kitchen set. If you haven't been here the entire time, this is game number 3. I'm still MoonMellows, he's still Airborne, and thank you to Asinus up on the desk. Airborne, I'm cursed. Yet again, I'm casting a third game set.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna just stop volunteering when you're around, man. I'm gonna be honest.
That kind of hurts.
Uh, I mean, we've only been here for an hour and a half. These have been luckily very short games for a three-game set, but also very
Yep.
confusing two games for a three-game set. So hopefully this one doesn't turn into like an hour and a half long banger for some reason.
Hopefully it's not a barn burner, but also at the same time, I'm not necessarily against barn burners because I do like talking. Though Nat20 not going to change up their game plan just yet, still banning out this Thanatos and Hecate. Baba's Kitchen gonna go ahead and ban out that Thor, and now a Giannis ban.
Yeah, they let through the Chiron last time, and now or excuse me, they let through the Chiron, banned Jingwei. Okay, never mind. Now it's back to a Jingwei ban. Okay, so we've got the same four bans again.
Okay.
Now an
Oh,
Uller
an
ban
Uller.
randomly.
Yeah,
Okay.
Uller is the new one. I'm not surprised about that. Uller is still kind of strong. I'm not sure if anyone in Baba's Kitchen necessarily has an Uller, but I don't know these players as well as you might. But, still pretty standard, I guess, as we're waiting for Baba's Kitchen's final ban to come through here. Uh, I am trying to think of like what the problem was for Nat20's draft last time, and I don't think the draft had a problem as Aladdin is going to be the final ban. I just thought it was more of like they kind of like took a page out of Baba's Kitchen book and decided not to fight as a full-on team. But hopefully now they're going to start playing as a team as Kukulkan is locked in, probably for Unstrict.
I think this is probably Aspect, and it's either Rims or it's Ramps and Jungle, but I could be wrong. Could be
Hmm.
wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, yeah.
Second game in a row where we change one ban and then the other team first picks it. Nat20 banned Uller instead of Aladdin this time, forced Babas to ban it, so they let the Cuckoo through. And now going to this Nat20 team. But yeah, Xenosign really likes Uller, so not surprised it gets banned. Kind of surprised it was the Aladdin ban over the Cuckoo, but we'll wait and see what happens as Najah sees, I think, their first curtain call here in Gilgamesh, though I could be wrong, paired with a little bit of a staple in this new law.
Yeah, I love Deja. I hope it goes to the support role. I'm checking our banned content. Its aspect is not banned, so you can go ahead and pull it over into Krusty could play it in the solo lane. Crispy House could play it over in the support lane, or Mr. Pope himself can play it over. Again, these picks with a lot of flexibility, as Ganesha is going to go ahead and be picked up, and Merlin going to go ahead and be picked up for Nat20. So yeah, you're right. This Kukulkan not going to go towards Unstrick.
A very, very normal picks there for a Ganesh and a Merlin. Very obviously staple pick in support, and then Merlin obviously is a top five or top six picked god in mid right now. Uh,
Yeah.
just very standard, not too glitz or glamorous. Has the Najah and the Cuckoo who started us for, but very consistent gods and very well performing gods. As Sobek, also a staple, gets picked, and then this Hercules. So this Herc and Neja are probably flipping between solo and jungle. It'll just be who ends up taking it in the end. Both Pope and Krusty is playing both of them, and then Sobek probably bringing up the support role for Crispy House here.
Baba's Kitchen kind of have a scary draft so far where, well, it's mainly just one person beads, but if that one person doesn't have beads, they're not going to have a fun time at all as Hu Yi, and Hu Yi is going to be selected for Nat20 here.
Yeah, Zapsy played this last set, ended up going, I think it was 8-3 or 8-4 into it, or on it, excuse me. And now Mulan pick, so I think this might just be a Cuckoo jungle pick here, going to Rampior, unless Rampior has randomly decided to take Mulan into the jungle, which I don't think he would, but we'll have to wait and see on that for certain. And then Cupid obviously is a staple when playing into Hoyi, so not too surprised to see that one locked as well.
Pressure as it tells it as time from Smite 1 with the Sobek Cupid duo lane. Baba's Kitchen have a lot of single target beads burn, and then if the team is grouped up, then you have Cupid ultimate, which is either a Mez or a stun, depending on how many hearts he has himself. Looking at these two drafts though, which one are you kind of preferring?
Uh Wow, that's a tough one. I think in
Mm,
little skirmishes, I probably prefer Babas, just because of, like you said, the just single person beads focus between a Neja, Sobek, and Hercules. Then even a new Wasp stun, technically speaking, obviously could expose someone without beads. But team fight, I do have to lean to Nat20, biased and unbiased, just because I think their team fight just has a little bit more util. Cupid ult is
mhm.
nice, but generally countered with Stampede, and then there's just a Hou Ganesh, Merlin if he can free cast. Obviously, he's a super big Numbies player, and then Mulan for arrow engages, or even Altans and knockups through these team fights. Both these teams have a lot of util. Just going to come down to who can hit more of it and who can hit it consistently.
Yeah, Nat 20 looks like they have, I don't want to say like an easier time, but Baba's Kitchen, Neja and Hercules are kind of I don't want to say skill gods, but pretty reliant on the player's ability to play them, as it is going to be Mr. Pope on this Hercules and Krusty Nuts with Aspect and Neja over in the solo lane.
Yeah, a little surprised that Krusty's took this. I know he used to play the god in Smite 1. I'm not sure how many games he's gotten in Smite 2. But Pope does play a lot of the Herc, same with Krusty, so not too surprised that that ends up with Pope. Just a little curious to see how Krusty's going to perform on the Neja. Obviously, hasn't been out that long, and I'm not sure how many games he's gotten on it, but definitely not as much as he's had on Herc and some of the other gods that were available, such as like Mordred, that has gone unbanned and unpicked now into our third game.
Yeah. Mordred gonna be overlooked this game. Also overlooked if you look at Rim Cleaner's relic. He got he might have got he got relic agility relic. Do you like that? Do you think it's a good pick, especially like foregoing the beads against, well, you'll be fighting in Asia all game. Do you think that's worth?
Well, it looks like both of them are going to go into Yogi's, so he's not going to take much damage, and Krusty's is probably not going to deal much. So it's
Mm,
not that big of a worry. I like the ability to create outplays that the Relic has, and it just kind of falls down to who's using it. Obviously, we've seen Rim has performed really, really well on that Vulcan. It had a pretty decent shot game, too. Just unfortunately wasn't, they just weren't five at the right times towards the tail end of that game, too. So I don't hate it in his hands, and it definitely creates some opportunities for him to get an innate advantage. But it could come back to bite him, like you said, without those beads. So have to wait and see.
oh, Xenosign's gonna be taking a lot of damage here in this duo lane. Has to step back himself, but after he hits level, well, I guess 3 because you're beating your dash at level 2, but has some nice sustain himself as Nat 20's duo lane has a nice bit of pressure starting up here. And yeah, I mean, I'm expecting this game to be a little bit explosive just looking at the gods we have here. Like, we're going to have a Sobek plucking in constantly. Here's the first one of the game as Mac Duck is going to get plucked out right into a Heart Bomb. That's a combo as old as time, as old as Smite 1 itself, in fact. But I'm expecting a lot of aggressiveness like that throughout this game.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be across all the different lanes too, especially with Hercules and a
Mm,
Cuckoo aspect roaming the jungles, right? They're going to be looking for a lot of fights. But First Blood going to Mulan off screen, picking that Neja early is now at Zapsy running, trying to not give them a return kill, and Sobek not going to have the pluck in time to make any plays. But Herc is here,
yeah,
and he
Herc.
blinks in.
He's got the
Oh, he
blink under
doesn't have the dash,
tower.
does he?
But he doesn't have. He used it to get the kill, but Matt Duck is gonna get a kill onto Mr. Pope himself with that tower shot. So still a 2 for 2, or there's 2 and 2 into 2 minutes into this game. Pretty solid.
Yeah, this Baba's Kitchen team, it consistently is getting these early kills into this duo lane. Matt Duck getting the Ganesha kill, probably already talking smack to his team, as every Ganesh with the first kill of the game should. Uh, but it just, you know, it's not something you get to see often, so it's nice. It's unique. Obviously, would have preferred it went to our ADC, but what are you gonna do? Rather him die than not. So you got that going.
Yeah, but hey, if you're gonna have a kill, as long good that it's on the jungler. Decided to go a little bit too far. Did Mr. Pope there, and wanted aggression. We saw it. Now we're up to like 4 kills into 3 minutes into this game as Mac Duck gets plucked once again. Xenosign though is
Dash
gonna
in.
dash in, but gonna be okay. There's no one over here, so it's not really gonna be too what's the word I'm looking for? punished for doing that, as Kaneki and Unstrick are going to go ahead and secure these rocks for themselves.
Yeah, nice to get that little bit of advantage, especially onto a Cuckoo aspect who could go those hybrid builds. Those rocks could end up being the equivalent of like an extra tier 2 damage item or something vice versa. Fortunately, it does mean that his purple is getting invaded, but Unstrick comes over
Ooh.
and gets the kill for it.
Yeah, Crispy was doing the best he could to make sure that Matt Duck and Zapsy didn't step up, but he couldn't stop Unstrick from walking on over and releasing some ice storms himself, and now Xenosign's under trouble at his purple buff. Zapsy and Matt Duck are here. Zapsy, though, has that jungle starter, so this is going to fall down much faster than it did for Xenosign. And yeah, now Xenosign,
Nice
though, is going to be
bounce.
dashing onto Zapsy. Zapsy, now Mr. Pope is here, is going to get pushed away, and it looks like he's surviving. Matt Duck is doing what he can to stop this Herc from running at them. And yeah, Zapsy looks like he's going to be okay, and now it's
Nuwa
Matt
has
Duck
ult.
in trouble. Nuwa does have the ultimate.
He's
Rim
still
Cleaner's
not
going to
using it, but
solo
he
Krusty
has
Nuts
it.
again. Kaneki is going to let the ult rain down through as Mr. Pope finds Matt Duck, and now we have the big old rock. Xenosign's going to be credited for the kill for Kaneki, and guess what? 4 minutes into this game, there's 8 kills, and guess what? It's still even, 4-4.
So that was an amazing play by Pope there. Came through the fast down to duo lane. Got the generated pressure on there. Zapsy's absolutely one shot. Translates it into 2 more kills. Great for his team. Hopefully doesn't get punished here, but definitely could be if he's not careful as everyone is rotating to him.
Yeah, there are 4 people on the way here, but Crispy is able to do some peel and make sure he's going to get out of there, which he is. Unstrix made the rotation over, but going to lose a little bit of minions to his mid tower there, and now it's Tanimation gonna do what he can to like get some farm up and even that out, though, as Mr. Pope still has it backed. And now it's Zapsy, level 4, gonna have to expend the beads. Asinus uses the Fields of Love and the Heart Bomb to put him down to about a third HP, but Kaneki now is on the rotation. He is full HP, and that's gonna be the end of that as Mr. Pope has to get on out of here. Third time this game, Rim Cleaner is soloed Krusty Nuts 5 minutes in. That's insane.
Okay, so I'm sorry for completely derailing us here, but I feel like I have to. When Zapsy got out, 5 health or 10 health or whatever it was, Nuwa was level 6 with Ulta. I thought they had mana. Maybe my eyes are deceiving me. Maybe I'm an old man with dementia. I don't know. But like I even said it in the middle of the fight. I have no idea why he didn't ult to kill Zapsy. But now Zapsy is staying here and Xeno's staring at him through a wall. Potentially could be not very good. It's probably
Yeah.
not very good now. No, he missed the heart bomb. He's alive.
Zapsy's able to get out of there because Xenocide missed that heart bomb, unfortunately. But look over here. Now we're looking over in the solo lane, and it's Krusty Nuts going to be taken down again.
Damage,
We have the
man.
Relic Dagger for, I guess, domination at that point. It's just unfortunate for Krusty. He's not able to find too much in the solo lane after being soloed 3 times, and is now 3 levels under Rim Cleaner here.
And unfortunately, unless Rim completely trolls this and like tries to go under his tower or something similar, there's just not anything Krusty's can do at this point. They have the exact same starter, the exact same first item. The only place they differ is Relic, and Sunder is not going to be this massive fight winner for him. So continuing to take these 1v1s and potentially miss out on minions if he dies is just not worth it. He can't do anything at this point. Even if he killed Rim, got the shutdown, and got 3 or 4 waves shoved under Rim's tower, they'd probably still be the same level if Rim wouldn't still have at least a level advantage. So really needs to just slow down over there, and he's about to die again.
Yeah, he is up to about 1 HP. Rim Cleaner's going to be running under the tower, and now he's proxying the wave. He's going to get away with it A-okay, because Krusty Nuts can't really do much to step up to it. You know, he's like, he has the Yogi's regen, but Rim Cleaner has the Yogi's regen and Mulan too, but Mr. Pope may be going to
Uh-oh.
find him out here. Yeah, we are, but no, he has too much
No, yeah,
sustain. He's level
Mr. Pope's level
10.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no fight for him right now. I said uh-oh for Mr. Pope because Mr. Pope's having a great game. Unfortunately, Krusty's is having the worst game of any one of the sets so far with this 3-0 start or this 0-3 start. So Rim is just massive.
Yeah.
And there's not, I mean, there's just nothing Mr. Pope can do at this point. They'd have to both be in lane, both hit everything flawlessly, and hope that Rim Cleaner can't use his ult to get away. Like, it's just,
Mhm.
it's out of Mr. Pope's hands at this point, and it feels bad, but that's the story that we've created ourselves here.
Yeah. But Nat20 were able to secure that beacon in mid, so they have these Nagas pressuring up a little bit, and we also have the relic, the Moonlight relic, in Unstrict's pocket. So a team fight I'm expecting to pop out here. This game has been pretty explosive as compared to game one and game two. About a kill a minute so far, and I'm not really surprised with the comp we have here. What I am surprised is Rim Cleaner able to find these 3 kills. Matt Duck now stepping forward up. Mr. Pope's here, though. He's going to be able to hit the good old 1-2 combo into Matt Duck, force him out. Xenosign's going to dash in, maybe, hopefully trying to find something. But the Fields of Love is down, and so is the Spirit of the Nine Winds and the Stampede. Matt Duck's able to get out of there A-okay.
Matt Duck running away from 2 people. If he goes straight line, perfectly fine. No, dips in and gets the gold pot, so then he stampedes himself to safety. That is the epitome of greed, and I love it. But he would have been perfectly fine without Stampede if he had just ran straight. He was like, nah, I need this 14 gold. And Rim Cleaner is doing the Lord's work and somehow winning it right now in this 1v3.
Yeah, he's 1v3, but he's level 11, so he's able to do that A-okay. Kaneki's going to step up and do a little bit of poke, but Rim says, nah, I got it, as Nat20 are going to get the first gold for this game. Rim Cleaner against 4, though. Mr. Pope's going to pull him back in, but now Rim Cleaner is down to about half HP after a rock hit, so pulls him down to about a third, but it's Baba's Kitchen, the ones on the retreat. Mr. Pope is pulled back into a Fields of Love. He's going to fall down. Kaneki credited with a kill, but Tandemation has the ultimate, and Crispy House has the shutdown onto Rim Cleaner. That's not what you want to see. Tandemation is doing what he can to survive, and he will a double kill onto Matt Duck, but Kaneki is dashing in, but that isn't what you should be doing because we're getting a triple kill, but Kaneki is able to find a Tandemation on the backline. Zapsy is up in the air, and he's doing what he can to survive, but he's stuck in between 3. Xenosign's going to find another one, and that is the deicide.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looked very good for a little bit, but they used 3 ults or 2 ults on the Gold Fury itself. So when it turned it into this 5v5, just not having the util that Baba's did, Baba played a very clean fight, focused all your CC into Rim, got that Juggernaut off the map, and then turned it into just a fight advantage with numbers. It unfortunately for Krusty's is a shutdown going to Crispy. So Crispy's ahead, but Krusty's still a little bit behind. But it evens it out a little bit for this team. Just lost the Gold Fury, but actually have a couple hundred gold leads. So 5 for Gold Fury, proven very, very worthwhile for this Baba's team. I was having a great day, but watching Krusty's play Nezha ruined it. Oh, I'm right there with you, buddy. Saturday at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. and I'm watching Krusty's run it down. But as we continue, looking at the overall scheme of things, Zapsy is getting super pressured. I lied.
Yeah, Zapsy has stepped up a little bit too far. The Suns are going to rain down, but that's not going to be enough because Mr. Pope is here. Zapsy is going to fall down to Xenosign. And now Xenosign, once again, is 4-0 this set. But Zapsy has shown that he's not too afraid to have a bad KDA these first, well, I guess 15 or so minutes.
Yeah, Duo continues to be the exact same start in the first 3 games. And we'll have to wait and see if it continues to be the same mid and late game as well, as Sobek gets utterly annihilated by Merlin.
Yeah, he takes so much damage from that Merlin, but he's got the lurking in the waters to be able to get out of there. But now, stepping up too far is Kaneki. Fields of Love is not going to be able to find too much purchase, and now it's Matt Duck stepping forward, and now Xenosign the one on the back foot after taking about half HP. That should be the end of it as Baba's Kitchen gets out of here, and also rotating in over from the dual lane to Zapsy, maybe starting his KDA saving back up. Kaneki is now dashing in. They want to find this Cupid, and Zapsy is still going in after him. We're 3 levels down, but that doesn't stop us from hopefully getting a solo. Good catch on the dash, but we have the bees to be able to get out of there. Xenosign is still going to live.
Yeah, Zapsy trying to create the play, like he said, to get this game turned around like he's done so well in those first 2 games. Unfortunately, not going his way that time, but does get the ever-important beads, which in a Ho Yi lane could be very detrimental for this Cupid. So we'll have to wait and see if there's any repercussions for that. But, you know, he tried. Unfortunately, beads up, doesn't go his way. Room Cleaner continues to have a crazy lead, but Krusty's is now not behind the tower. He is at the tower line. So a little bit more life in this duo lane, but quickly eating damage and being punished for it. So maybe he shouldn't be up there either.
Yeah, this Milan does a lot of damage, and Krusty Nuts is doing what he can to at least keep afloat in this boat. Kaneki is now rotated over to the duo
This could
lane,
be
and so is
big.
Matt Duck here.
Nope.
Xenosign has to
Ward.
dash out, and so we know it's fine, but Matt Duck is still holding... No, okay, we're going to end it out. I've been wanting to ask this question for a little bit, but they haven't given me the chance. Uh, if you look at Crispy House's first item, they went up for this Jade Scepter. How do you feel about that? Never mind. I'll hold that thought, though, as plugged back in as Zapsy into a Heart Bomb. He's going to be fine, though, as the suns are raining down. And also raining down are the Fields of Love, executed by Crispy House is Zapsy. But now Crispy House is stuck in the Dharmic Pillars. But this fight ain't over yet. Crispy House is going to get a double kill into this fight, and Mac Duck isn't falling. Matt Duck is going to set up for Unstrix to get a double kill himself on this duo lane. Merlin is going crazy, but he's going to fall down to Mr. Pope. It is now a 4-4-2. Baba's Kitchen once again in the good side of that fight.
Yeah, I mean, it was a super big rotation for Merlin, and I was about to make a mental note to bring that up, and then the Hercules also made a super good rotation. Unfortunately, the Hercules rotated after the Merlin did, so able to catch out the Merlin. But Unstrick proved that he was, even though it was, you know, his death, unfortunately, was in the right place at the right time, able to clean up both of those players out of that duo lane to turn that into a 2v2, or 2-4-2, excuse me. But Hercules also just in the right place at the right time, able to counteract the good work that Unstrick just put in. Unfortunate, but I mean, you know, he tried. He tried his best. It was a good play by Unstrick. Unfortunately, Hercules was just also there to make a good play. And now Naga being started, and there's no wards on it from this Baba's team. I'm assuming they know, because everyone knows that Naga is up right now. But Nuwa's backing, and Nat20's dropping it. So I'm a little confused. But
yeah, maybe they don't want to start it up too yet, as Unstrict wasn't there, but now Baba's Kitchen definitely know that there's 3 people around it. They do want this Queen Naga, but over on the left side of the map, it's another solo, as Xenosign's going to dash
nice.
in, but Zapsy has to jump himself. 1 and 4. I can still get a solo kill onto this 4-2 and 9 Cupid.
Yeah, down 2 levels during that fight, ticked over for the level up, and then just there for 13 as well after the kill. Beads up, alt up, both trade both, and Zapsy still ends up on top, being down the 2 levels. So huge, huge, huge kill for him, especially if he's pushing it and getting some solo farm, which he is. So going to translate from 2 levels down to possibly up a level for Zapsy, as well as getting this tier 1 tower, the second one off the map, both in Nat20's favor.
Yeah, but Nat20 are now stepping up to this Naga. Baba's Kitchen are aware of it, though, so it's not going to go down, hopefully, without a fight. But with Unstrick here, with Kaneki here, it's going to start burning down fast, and Crispy and Mr. Pope are the only ones able to do it. We have that Excavate ready, maybe to get a bit of a secure kill here, but this fight is ingoing. Excavate is out, and into the sky is Matt Duck, spreading it up in the back. Crispy House all the while lurking in the waters under Rim Cleaner, hoping maybe to get execute on this unkillable Mulan. Unkillable, though he will stay, and he is falling. No one has fallen down for this fight just yet, but Kaneki is going up in the air, and Mr. Pope is going to get found out by Zapsy, but the Merlin is here to bring on some damage himself. Fall down to Tandemation. Zapsy getting himself a triple.
Then ending up falling
Has
to this
some
new
gnarly autos. This Nuwa is 7-1 this game. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, and I don't want to downplay a 7-1 game, right? Because at the end of the day, you check scoreboard, that's a 7, that's a 1, right? Not too hard to think, even solo laners can do it. But, like, it's one of the quieter ones too, right? Like we've been talking about Mr. Pope, if anything, in a positive light. Not too much said about this new WA, but with the stuns and the autos, I mean, you can see the damage right now, even into this level 15 solo, who is out leveled by 2 by this new WA. I think did new WA get 4 kills in the fire pit fight?
Yeah, it was about like that because they got like what? No, she got like 3 kills in the Gold Fury fight, and then about a triple kill or maybe another one over in the Queen Naga
Yeah,
fight.
I don't
Ta-
know, but
Tandemation has just been
crazy.
rotating over and like being
Yeah,
able to find the, I guess, the last hits if you want to be like not be as nice about it, but still 7-1
I
ain't
mean,
bad. It's gonna
it's that kill gold still look the same whether you do 3,000 damage or 3 damage. It don't matter. He's a level
yeah.
17 for it, so it's a massive swing for him in that Naga fight. Don't know who exactly got it. Unfortunately, that's hard to tell with spectate. And I was busy watching Zapsy get a triple kill and then Nuwa chasing him in the kill sheet as well. So that's on me for being a bad caster. But we will join you guys right after this pause is figured out. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
And we are back. Just a little bit of a technical issue there. Room cleaner was stuck in a wall, but able to find his way on out of there. uh, Now I have to get back into the mindset of this game. Baba's Kitchen are, well, specifically Tandemation is kind of going crazy so far.
Yeah, I mean, like we were saying, just perfect place at the perfect time because I don't think these are coming off of his alt either. Like one of the few new WoW players I can say that I think he has more kills with his autos in mid than with his ultimate. But he's doing very well. Level 18, highest on the map by 2, and that's including Room Cleaner, who was just running the entire lobby not 3 minutes ago. So in a very, very good spot. Rage fully stacked, Hydras, DB, just got Titan's Bane. He hurts a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And those ultimates, which also crit, are also going to hurt a lot. Don't be surprised if we start seeing this new WoW use these ults to start off fights and everyone is just half health to begin for this Nat20 side.
Yeah, Tandemation is becoming a problem though. Nat20 doing what they can to answer it back are going to pull this gold through, but instantly step off of it after Baba's Kitchen show up a little bit. Now, though, Crispy is going to find a good pluck onto Kaneki, forcing the beads out a little bit late, but the new ultimate is going to come in and take down Kaneki for the first of this fight. But Crispy House ain't looking too much well for good. He has to get out of here, and the beads are going to be expended from Zapsy to get on out of there. Matt Duck is going to fall down to Tandemation with another double kill into this fight. And now Unstrick is up a little bit too far. Mr. Pope is going to find him, but he's able to flicker outside of there. And now it's Bubba's Kitchen, the ones pulling this Gold Fury.
Yeah, tried to get into the Gold Fury before everyone could be there. Dropped it, which was the right call as they started the show. Knew that they didn't have Rim there. Unfortunately, though, because they were there stage previously, I don't think they're going to be able to get this Pyro either. Yeah, definitely not. Sobek already seeing and calling them out. Now Rim Cleaner on the chopping block. But
yeah, Rim Cleaner is stuck between a rock and a hard places. He has the ultimate deal to get out of there, and also that tether to draw him back to the Tier 1 tower. But this Tier 1 tower is now gone as Tanimation sets his eyes upon it. And now it's Baba's Kitchen, once again, taking an objective that Nat20 started.
yeah, not a very good swing for Nat20, but I mean, it's one of those things, right? Like it happens in games, and we've seen it happen quite a few times in these sets, or in these games in this set, excuse me. So hopefully Nat20 can get it together as Rim goes in the air.
Yeah, Krusty Nuts brings in Rim into the air, but it's Krusty Nuts looking worse for wear. Jumping in, though, with Zapsy, and Zapsy is going to be able to start this fight off. Kaneki is going to get a nice ultimate off to get a kill. Double kill onto Crispy
Someone
House,
help Elephant.
Now it's Matt
Help the
Duck
Elephant.
versus Xenocide. Xenocide has the heart bomb, and so Matt Duck is going to be okay, but it's Xenocide running towards Nat20's jungle with 4 members chasing him down. But I'm not sure if this is exactly... No, that's what's going to be. Xenocide doing his best Benny Hill theme impression as running away from Kaneki and Unstrick here.
I think...
Ooh.
Oh, wow, never mind.
Oh, he might be able to get out of there after that Fields
I
of
think
Blood
he is. I think he's done.
He has the heals. Unstrick doesn't want this one to go down too far, but he is still running for his life, and Unstrick's damage, unfortunately, is a little bit too short. Rim Cleaner, though, was doing his best to chase him down. Xenocide has the dashes. He has the heals. So far, he has healed up to about a 3rd HP, but chasing them too far is Unstrick. Mr. Pope has the Blink, Excavate, and the Driving Strike, and he's going to go ahead and pull him back. Rim Cleaner found Xenocide, but that doesn't matter because Rim Cleaner also found the gray screen thanks to Tanimation.
Yeah, from Pyro to Red to behind to Tier 2 to back up to Purple, then to the other Purple. Just, it's a lot of time spent chasing the Cupid. Before the... Oh, more fighting?
Ooh, we ain't done fighting yet. This is a Nat20 Baba's Kitchen set. Mr. Pope going to use the Excavate. Hopefully set some things up. Kaneki, though, it has got the damage. And Zapsy has got the Suns. Kaneki's going to be credited with the kills. And that is what happens when you stay a little bit too long.
I was going to say, I think Cupid's only chance here is to, get killed by the Phoenix and Titan and not give it away, but it was a huge Fields of Love and turnaround Heart Bomb for him onto Kaneki's Kukulkan that was chasing him. So ended up being fine as, once again, the elephant is in the air.
Krusty's found Matt Duck, but Matt Duck has the Giant Pillars and is going to be able to get out of there, and now it's Baba's Kitchen once again on the front foot. Even though they're 1 member down, they're still not afraid to try and find one pick where they can.
Well, that 1 member down is not Tandem Nation, so they feel perfectly okay. Now, the moment he goes down, it'll be a massive shutdown for Nat20 that probably skews this a little bit. But until he is down, yeah, probably feeling pretty confident as long as we can get him in the back free casting. And Krusty's has kind of just turned into a util solo, which is, I guess, what we expected out of a Neja. But he is hunting Matt Duck down in these fights, trying to get the Ganesh up in the air to open up some space for his own team to dive onto this Nat20 backline. It's worked so well this far. Didn't work that last time, probably just because it didn't turn into a fight. But that seems to be his goal, and it's worked the last couple times. So we'll have to see if maybe Matt Duck either starts positioning a little differently or what these fights end up looking like if Krusty's cannot find this elephant. But so far, been successful.
Yeah. I'm going to take a little bit of a saying out of Hurdle the Turtles books, and stop me if you've heard this before, but Zapsy, after starting the game 0-3, is now 4-6, is slowly bringing himself back up. He's been doing it almost every game of this set, where he starts out behind and is just slowly clawing his way back up to a nice KDA.
Yeah, I think at some point we do have to make the correlation that the league owner Matt Duck is there when he's 0-3 and not there when he's 4-3 or 4-6 now. So it may be time to just blame Matt. I'm not sure
Uh,
how we feel about that, but it's 3 games in a row now. Maybe, maybe Crispy is
Can't
just
be
that guy.
coincidence.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
Crispy's just that guy. Who knows? But
yeah.
when Matt Duck leaves and Crispy leaves, all of a sudden Zapsy can play the game again. And this looks like it's going to turn into a big fight with this Fire Giant dance. And there it
Yeah,
is.
there's a Jade Scepter set up into a pluck. Tandemation finds Zapsy in that kill. He had his beats up, unfortunately, or they just came up. But it was an insane setup from the Sobek to be able to get Baba's Kitchen in here. Blinking forwards is Mr. Pope, but we have the silence, but that's not going to do too much longer as Matt Duck is going to be pulled into the sky. Rim Cleaner is going to be pulled back out of these fields of love, and Xenosign is going to be killing Matt Duck. Kaneki going to be pulled back in. Going to find Tandemation for a nice shutdown. It's what you want to see, but 1 for 3 is not exactly where you want to go. It's Unstrick now stuck between a rock and a hard place as he's running the best he can for Mr. Pope. Gonna force out the beads. The nice pre-beads from Unstrick there. Mr. Pope doing what he can to force out Unstrick away, but it's Crispy House and Mr. Pope chasing him down, and now it's Krusty Nuts over here raining some damage down onto Rim Cleaner.
Yeah, Rim Cleaner trying to keep them off this Fire Giant here, and he has a high potential to do so, especially...
Ooh.
Oh, not anymore. The moment that Heart Bomb connected it, he didn't have any chance anymore, unfortunately. But he did get them off of it and did get them to reset, so bought some team. Good stall, good stall. Bought some time, excuse me. So good stall. But now we have to wait and see if Nat20 can do anything with it. But yet another chase of all the way south and all the way north, and somehow the guy is not dead. So 1 for both teams, though Baba's obviously, we watched it the entire way, so a little bit more theatrical. But somehow
Yeah.
both of them living, and now Zapsy's in a rough spot again.
Zapsy's in a rough spot again, and he still had the beads. He's gonna fall eventually to Mr. Pope. Holding on to these beads for next game is Zapsy. I spoke him up, but now he's 4 and 8 this game. Unfortunately, Mr. Pope though with a double kills, making his KDA look nice and pretty. Kaneki's gonna let Spirit of 9 Winds fly through, but it's not gonna find too much damage. Matt Duck once again, Elephant is in the air, and Kaneki is too. Has the time lock Aegis, but that's just gonna stall it out. No, hold that thought though, as Kaneki has some sick damage onto Xenosign to be able to slow this fight out. Kaneki's doing the best he can, but yeah, he's eventually going to fall
Big
down
rock.
to these big rocks and autos from Danimation.
Yeah, and Rim Cleaner, I mean, Herc is backing now, so never mind. I canceled my statement. I was going to say definitely has a chance to get to Mr. Pope and trade it out here, but instead going to be 3 from Baba's on top of this Fire Giant, including once again the full crit 12, 2, and 8 Nuwa. So this is going to get hurt. Like
Yeah,
pretty.
Fire Giant.
Actually, no. This is actually a lot
Going
slower
pretty
than I thought it was going to
yeah.
be.
She doesn't really have too much attack speed, but her autos do hurt, I guess. This Fire Giant is now down to about 6k HP, but doesn't look like that Rim Cleaner even wants to try and fight this too much well. If we use the ultimate to be able to get out of here, Crispy House is going to take some damage
Look at Zapsy's
himself.
health.
Yeah.
He just started gold, so it's a little bit lower now, but he just lost a quarter of his health to Nuwa trying to get vision. That's how late we are in this game. 28.5 minutes, the longest one so far in this set. But that's brutal, man. And that's with him missing an entire item plus the finished item of his 5th item, which he's got started here. So it's just not, it's never going to get any better. It's always going to just hurt, man. I think Nuwa's been level 20 for the last 9 minutes, and Nat20 is still trying to find their 3rd. It's just not, it's not feeling too great. Rim Cleaner's still with the lead, so we can still badmouth Krusty, but not any other leads elsewhere for Nat20 right now.
Yeah, this game is now at a purely even state outside of Unstrict being 2 levels. Well, now 1 level underneath this Nuance. The good thing about level 20 is that you can only hit it once. The XP difference 12k in favor of Baba's Kitchen, and the gold lead 9.4k in favor of Baba's Kitchen. Baba's learning the game 3 how to get a lead and run with it.
Yeah, this is definitely the more consistent game for Baba so far in this set, and that says something when they won the last game. But they've maintained this lead since about the 12, 13, 14-minute mark, and they've been in the driver's seat pretty much this entire time since then. So not taking as many risks as they were in the previous games, playing it very slowly, very methodical. They just got Fire Giant. Okay, let's go over to Gold. There's some towers up. There looks like they're grouping as 5 in mid. Hopefully going to wait for the Sobek, because that's usually where we start making some mistakes, is going in early. But it looks like they're just going to push with this wave. Merlin the only one up there, so I guess there's no risk of it if no one's there to defend. And
Yeah.
Zapsy's in right.
Yeah, Zapsy is going to be pushing up right lane all the meanwhile, but Mr. Pope is in the base. Nope, we're not going to be good diving that far, though, as stepping forward is Krusty Nuts going to taking this tower. The two Armic Pillars are going to come out, and in fact, it's Xenosign looking a little bit worse for wear. Krusty Nuts is stepping up a little bit too far. The Fields of Love are going to come out, and Tandemation is going to take down Rim Cleaner for the first one in this fight. Zapsy has rotated over and is going to be able to pull some damage back out on it, but look at Baba's Kitchen's health bars. They're not taking too much, and they're not too scared about it. Matt Duck out down to about half HP. It's going to stun out Mr. Pope and change this fight out for the better. Mr. Pope now poked down to about a third HP, but now it's stuck is Kaneki. We have to put down like Aegis to keep ourselves alive a little bit longer. And so far, the only one falling is Rim Cleaner and this mid Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, they had a lot of really good value out of that Ganesh ult in particular, and then Hodi ult followed up soon after and also got a lot of value. So not losing too much for it. I mean, unfortunately, Babas does get their objective, which is their mid Phoenix, and now continue their push down the dual lane. But because of the value they got out of their ults, not necessarily a deicide straight into Titan room like we've gotten used to in these first two games. So they do have another chance, but they're just it's not looking so good right now.
Yeah, but we're going to start it off with another pluck on to Zapsy. But in the back line, Kaneki is getting ran out by Mr. Pope. Mr. Pope's going to take him down, and now it's Zapsy versus Krusty Nuts. But Krusty Nuts is going to be able to find that one himself. Zapsy is down, and that's 2. That is a 3 versus 5, and all 5 of those members have Fire Giant. In the sky is Rim Cleaner, and he has the heroism shield to be able to survive a little bit longer, but we have the pluck to pull him back in. But Rim is going to find a nice ultimate. But this Titan, all the meanwhile, is at 2k HP. It's falling fast and down. Xenosign is going to kill it, and Baba's Kitchen are going to be the ones to reverse sweep this set.
Yeah, shout out to Baba's Kitchen. They played a very, very, very secure game, or consistent, or whatever word you want to use. Tandem Nation had an amazing single player performance, 13, 2, and 9. Definitely his best performance of the set, and maybe the best performance of the set, competing with, Rims Vulcan in game one. But a super, super good game from him. But it was just very methodical through Baba's just the entire time. Once they got the lead at 12 minutes, they just slowly expand on it, right? Little ganks here, a tower there, a gold here. It was never anything crazy aggressive. They were always the one with the numbers advantage. It was just very, very methodical and coordinated, which is not what we saw in game one and game two. So very good by them for adjusting, getting a very clean win in game three to lock everything up.
Yeah, Baba's Kitchen taking down the first loss of the set, able to bring it back into a reverse sweep, as we like to say. And it was pretty good games all the way around. It was very back and forth, but I never felt like they were out of it, even in the first game. Though we are not done just yet. We will be right back with an interview. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are now in the post-game interview, and we have got Mr. Pope, the jungler for Baba's Kitchen himself. Mr. Pope, how you feeling after that win?
Feel like we overcame uh our setbacks in game one, so pretty hype about this set.
Yeah, you guys played phenomenally. Herc Jungle, tell me about it. How did you feel like letting Krusty Nuts over have that Neja, and you wanted that Herc? Was that just something that you were like, I'm confident about this, and I will own?
Yeah, Herc is I feel like he's broken with the cooldown resets right now. So I did build the pendulum and then just team fighting with Yodens, just instant cooldown resets. A lot of CC good dive.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, those who watched Game 3 definitely saw that you had amazing and almost immediate impact on the Herc. I think you ganked dual lane at like 2.5 minutes. It still wasn't fast enough to get first blood because your solo laner went 0-3 in like 4.5 minutes. Your captain, by the way, the
Uh,
Krusty. Uh, but you had a immediate impact. So how did it feel knowing that you could play through duo and mid, but your captain himself was actually the weak link that you just had to hope you could, shoulder the weight of?
yeah, I know Krusty's always gonna pull through mid and late game, lead us to the win. But yeah, playing against or playing with our duo, that's our game plan. They're really strong early.
Yeah, and
They get us
obviously we
there.
saw Zeno, I think, had a lead every single game, right? Going into like the 10, 11 minute mark. And Zapsy bounced back a little bit, but it's got to feel pretty good knowing that your ADC is just starting every game like 2, 3-0, 4-0 even.
Oh yeah, for sure. We played for him, and then Tandem just saved us so many times that game.
Yeah, Tandem with a 13-2 game on Nuwa, and I think maybe one came from his ult. Was that something that you guys knew that he had in the bag? Or is that just a, hey, he said he wanted it and it accidentally went crazy?
Nah, he's him on the new He's him on the new for sure.
Well,
Yeah, guy.
congratulations to. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Moon.
Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah, Tandemation went absolutely crazy. Krusty Nuts went crazy in the wrong way, but pulled it back a little bit towards the end. Um, I'm trying to remember, what did you play in game number one? This get set has been 3 games, and my brain
Yo.
is fried.
The
I'm trying to
captain still
think.
hasn't posted the screenshot, and I can't
The
remember it
Humbats,
all
Humbat.
anymore. Yeah, it was Humbots then
Right.
Daji.
Yeah, I remember like seeing the Humbats game was like, okay, a little bit. You played solid, but then obviously, unfortunately, unable to win that one. And then you put out the Daji in game number two, where you yourself went explosive. I believe you had a 10-4-2 stat line at the end of that game. You did absolutely insane, dog. How did that feel?
Like I said, it felt really good. We got our comms right, had our game plan going, started to play like ourselves again.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any more questions for you. Do you have any more questions, Airborne?
No, just congrats, you know what I mean? Hopefully you and the rest of the team like get at least massages out of Krusty for that performance. It was a very, very dominant, 4 roles of gameplay that you guys had across all 3 of those games.
Yeah, we pulled through. Shout out my team.
uh, well, as you heard it here, Mr. Pope says the team is the one that took him to victory. Looking phenomenal yourself. Congrats on the win, Mr. Pope. That's going to be all for us from Babylon Smite League. We should be back later tonight with another set, but that remains to be seen. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Airborne, for casting with me. Thank you, Asinus, for being our eyes in the sky. We will see you guys next time.